How can you work in a bad market? Oh, that's a great question, and we're going to talk about that today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's show is brought to us by SavvyPerks.com. SavvyPerks is an employee discount network. It's designed for you, the small business owner, so that you can have employee pricing at over 250,000 retailers, restaurants, services, and adventures across the country. This is a benefits package for small business owners and for their employees. It used to be that it was only available to major corporations that had 10,000 plus employees. But when you become a part of the Savvy Perks program, you become part of our network. And our network has qualified now to offer you these bonuses and incentives as small business owners. So check it out, SavvyPerks.com. For about the price of a sandwich per month, you can have access to all of the employee discounts that will save you hundreds and thousands of dollars a month as a small business owner. Alrighty, on to today's show, which is from a house cleaner who has this question.
Hi, Angela. I own my own cleaning business. I am a solo employee. I'm thinking about expanding, and how do I determine if my market near where I live can support a house cleaning business? If I travel 40 minutes away, the market is better, and that's where I'm currently going now. But I've heard you talk about working close to home, and how do I know if my market would support the business?
All right, that is a trick question, but what it comes down to is not all markets will sustain a house cleaning business. And so, yes, it's possible that you live in an area where it's out in the boonies and you don't have big neighborhoods where people are willing to pay the big money. And so if that's the case, you have to get creative. If you want to work near your house, and I recommend you do, because instead of you fighting and competing in a bigger market where there's more competition and where the competition is more fierce that will drive your prices down, you have a very unique spot in that you might be one of a few people that do what you do in your market. Now, I grew up in a very rural part of America where there weren't big cities around. And so what happens is you have to get very creative. As you get very creative, what you might do is you might offer a variety of different services. So you're not going to be a regular house cleaning business, but the chances are you're not going to expand and have lots of employees either. Because if you do, then you have to go to the big city and you have to pay the big advertising and you have to compete in that market. But if you're a small independent business owner, you can offer a variety of different services. For example, you could clean a house, and you could also weed a garden, and you could also help with canning or bottling fruits and vegetables that a farming community might have. There are other tasks that you might be capable of doing, such as raking leaves in the fall, or maybe blowing snow or shoveling snow in the wintertime. Now, there are a lot of creative, independent business owners that have done a variety of different tasks. And what they do is they go around and they sell the services in advance. Like, we know, if you live in the country, we know that there are lots of trees and lots of forest areas, and all that stuff blows into your yard. You open your front door and the leaves blow into your house. That's not cool, right? So you want all the leaves scooped up out of your yard. And we know that every fall there's going to be leaf pickup. You can start selling that leaf pickup in May and June when there are no leaves and all the leaves are still on the trees. And you can say, would you like first right of refusal? That doesn't mean they have to hire you. That means they're the first on your list. And people will line up and go, yeah, I'm getting too old to rake all my own leaves. Yes, please come. And you give them a pricing sheet and a breakdown, and here's how much it's going to cost per garbage bag of leaves. Either you will or you won't cart the leaves away. It depends on the pickup, if they do pickup in that area, or if there's a landfill nearby. You got to figure those things out, but you can put your pricing sheet in effect and sell that service in May and June. All right, now in the wintertime, we know for a fact that there's snow every year in different particular areas. And so if you're in a snow area, you may want to invest as part of your small business in a snow blowing machine. And if you do and you use that for your business, that's tax deductible, as are your rakes and your wheelbarrows and whatever else you decide to use in addition to your regular house cleaning supplies. So if you sell extra services, and it might be that you buy a ladder and you have a little thing that helps you clean out gutters, and maybe you do gutter cleaning. Now you'll have to have the insurance that will allow you to get up on a ladder, which is going to be a little bit more expensive than a house cleaning policy. But my suggestion is that you might talk to your insurance agent and suggest the different things that you're going to be doing. I'm going to be gutter cleaning. I'm going to be washing windows. I'm going to be cleaning houses. What kind of a policy can I get that's all encompassing for those things? And it might be a little bit more than the house cleaning, but it will allow you to do more tasks. Now, once you have your regular customers, those customers are going to talk, because in a rural community, everybody knows everybody, right? So instead of you trying to go to a city where people don't even know their next door neighbors, now you know people that know people for miles around. And they will say, well, this guy comes every year and he does the snow blowing. And so they're first right of refusal. They're at the top of the list. And there are people that will pay, and you sell that service in maybe September, October, before the snow has fallen. And you always pre-sell your services so that you stay in business year round. And when the first leaves start to fall, you start calling those customers on your list, and you start blocking out your schedule, and you start filling in the gaps so that you have ongoing money coming in. But there are so many different things that you can do to upsell your services that go a little bit beyond house cleaning. It could be landscaping. It could be that you also mow yards. It could be that you do weed whacking, or that you trim shrubs or hedges, or that you pull weeds, or that you plant flowers, or that you pick tomatoes or pick avocados or pick, I don't know what the things are in your area, but there are so many different tasks. I know that there are some folks that are getting on in years, and they live near apple orchards, and they pay a team every year to just come in and pick the apples off the trees, pick the apples up off the ground. The ones on the ground they make applesauce out of. The ones that come off the trees they sell at the market. So maybe you're great at apple picking. I don't know. But my suggestion would be it's still going to be work near where you live, because the opportunities where you live will always surpass the opportunities where you have to commute to go find the work. Once you get out there, you're competing in a much larger pond. And so they say be a great big fish in a little pond. That's working in your own home territory and finding things to keep you busy. And you can charge whatever your rate is, and you might just have one flat rate. Let's say it's $25 or $35 an hour, whether you're raking, snow blowing, washing windows, cleaning houses. You could make it really easy on yourself. And then people could hire you at $25 an hour for whatever the tasks are. And I say $25 an hour. I don't know if the area that you live in will support $25 an hour. I just threw that out as a suggestion. But find out what the going rate will pay in your market, and then find out what services you can offer, and then get really super creative, because this is your business, and you don't have to limit it just to house cleaning unless you decide that's all you want to do and you do want to expand. And if that is the case, I do recommend you commute, and I recommend you go to the big city, wrap the cars, pay for the fancy ads, hire all the people, hire some managers, and build a big business out of it. But if you live in a small area, there's lots of stuff you can do right in your own backyard. Alrighty, that's my 2 cents for today. Until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.